Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to be talking about this FitRx Pro I picked up at Walmart. It's not a bad unit for the price. This is a percussion device for massaging after workouts, stuff like that. There are very expensive versions of this, and we'll get into it into the video. So please stick around. Check out the video, and I'll see you guys there. Thank you for watching. Hey everybody, how's it going? Alright, so I picked up a few things from Walmart. I picked up a bunch of shoelaces because I've been looking for shoelaces for my boots for about 4.5 months or so, and they started stocking shoelaces, so I grabbed a bunch. That way I wouldn't have to steal shoelaces from my wife's boots, to be able to. My wife actually has the same pair of boots. Hers are just smaller. They still have the same amount of eyelets, but anyways, I picked up a bunch of laces. These are a pair of black, a pair of brown, 60-inch and 54-inch. I prefer my shoelaces a little long. These are 72-inch leather tan. I picked up 4 of those. And then 54 of what used to be on the boots. Which these are actually to replace my wife's. Hers are actually 54s. Hers are a little small on my boots, but, you know, you do what you gotta do. My wife doesn't wear her version of these boots very often, so she let me use her worn out shoelaces. 54-inch in brown. So, grabbed 2 brown, 1 black. Black is 60-inch. The 2 browns are 54. The multicolor brown and tan is 54-inch, and the others are 72-inch. The leather ones. These guys are 72-inch. So I picked those up. I picked up some more of these reusable tie straps. So I'd never seen the 14-inch ones. It's a 2-pack of 14-inch. I'd never seen them in yellow. I picked up 2 yellow. And I'd never seen the short 4-pack of 8-inch. I've never seen them in green. I picked up another red and I picked up a green. Get that out the way. So I also picked this up because I'm extremely sore at the end of the day when wrenching on cars, or, you know, this is sold at Walmart in the fitness section. There are several brands out there, including the Theragun. Theraguns are expensive. You see commercials about them all the time if you do watch TV. This guy was 79 bucks. The Theragun Pro is $5.99, and the Theragun Elite is $3.99. Not sure why they ass backward the names. The Theragun Pro is actually better than the Elite. It's got more features than the Elite. So I'm not sure why they didn't name the Theragun Pro the Theragun Elite, because Elite is better than Pro, but, you know, it is what it is. So I grabbed this, and as you can see from the intro, I actually had it out of the box. I was talking about it, said we're going to go over it. So, I already took this out the box. I've already used it quite a bit for my arms and a portion of my back. And I massaged my wife's legs with it to see what she thought. Oh, and a portion of her shoulder blades and her shoulders with it. See what she thought of it. I do have an opinion on this guy already. It's, for the price, it's not bad. but it's not the best, and there's a lot of information about it that I can tell you right now is wrong. Up to 6 hours usage, it's bogus. I'll tell you that right now. And we'll open it in a second. We need to grab my phone so I can show you guys. So it's pretty close to the same shape as the Theragun. So I pulled up the Theragun. This is what the Theragun looks like. It's kind of similar shape, not exactly the same. This is more rounded. This is more of a triangle. This one is the Theragun Pro red model. It's got red accent and it's black. This one has 2 removable batteries, and it comes with 6 tips. This one comes with 4. This one is 3-position arm, 0, 45, and 50. The Theragun Pro, that's the name of it, is $599. It's $599. It's not cheap. It says 300 minutes total battery. And this one is up to 6 hours, which is like 300, I believe, 60 minutes, if I remember correctly. This Theragun is smart app integrated with Bluetooth, has an OLED screen for the force meter, you know, how many percussions per minute, customizable speed range. This one also has a rotating arm. The Theragun Pro rotates in 4 different sections. This one only rotates in 3. This one rotates in 0, 45, and 50 degrees. The Theragun Elite is quieter than the Pro, but it does not have removable batteries like the Pro does. So I'm not sure why they didn't name this one the Elite and the Elite be named the Pro. It's a close-up of it. It also is slower on the RPMs. This one does 1200 to 3200 RPMs and has 5 speeds. This one does, if I can find it, people, you know, in sports and everything use this. There's all the attachments that this one comes with. 2 rechargeable lithium batteries, battery charger. You can also get a docking charger for this too, where you can just sit it in the dock. Specifications: 5 built-in speeds, 1750, 1900, 2100, 2400, and 2200 and 2400 percussions per minute. App-controlled customizable speed range from, so these are the percussions, I'm sorry. 5 built-in, it should say percussions, 5 built-in percussion speeds, and then 5 speeds range. But 1750, 1900, 2100, 2200, and 2400 is the percussions per minute. And the speed range is 1750 to 2400. So this one is at a higher speed than this one on low. This one on low is 1200. The Therabody Theragun on low is 1750. The amplitude or the stroke length for the percussive device is 16 to 18 millimeters. Because here it says 16 millimeters, down further it says 18 max. So I'm assuming in a certain mode or certain speed it travels further. This one is only 8 millimeters. It's not even 1/8. It's like 1/16, maybe close to between 1/16 and 1/8 of a movement in and out. Pro accessories for the Theragun here is Pro Wireless Charging Stand, Multi-Device Wireless Charger, World Travel Charger, all 4th generation attachments, Duo Adapter. So, there's the charging dock station. I just figured I'd show you guys this. It's a comparison. I might be picking one of these up, because this one I've already had a couple issues with. So let's get it open. I already opened it anyways, but let's open the box. Because I put it back in the box just for you guys. Trying to mix up the channel a little bit, make it a little not as traditional as I usually would do the video. So it has a round, large head for large muscles, dual head for neck and spine, precision head for deep tissue, and a flat head, which is actually not flat. It's actually kind of domed for all body parts. It shows the 5-speed selector right here. This is called the FitRx Pro. Precision Multi-Angle Massager is a professional portable solution for personal massage therapy needs. Lightweight and compact innovation meet with the power and speed ranges from 12 to 3200 RPMs for deep therapeutic vibrations that provide soothing benefits, muscle recovery, and relaxation. Whether you are a pro athlete or have a desk job, FitRx Pro provides relief you need. Shows the calves, quads, glutes, hamstrings, forearms, upper and lower back, biceps, shoulders, neck, chest, triceps, abdominal. You know, I've used it on a couple of these groups: neck, biceps, shoulders, upper back. My wife tried it on my lower back. I've used it on my forearms. I actually used it on my hands as well, my palms. Just messing around with the attachment so I can give you guys my opinion of it. And for 79 bucks, it's not bad. You do have to consider that you are not going to get 6 hours out of this device, even though the box says it. I used it for about 15 minutes, went to charge it. I was just messing with it for that 15 minutes. It used 1 bar. Then I charged it to full, used it on my wife's back for 20 minutes or so. A bar is all it used on the battery. I'm like, okay, so maybe the specs are correct. And then I charged it. I used on my calf a little, and then I used it on my palm, and then portions of the top of my shoulders for about 20-30 minutes, and then I put it back on the charger. It was not one of those things that I just ran it complete. Well, and I can turn it on for you guys. So, doesn't have a very long stroke, as you can tell. It's a pretty decent stroke, but it's not like great. You know, it's not, and that's on low. A second, third, fourth, and fifth. It is a good device for the price. Now, the reason I kind of demoed it real quick, all the attachments, including the charger, are in here. There's not very many. You know, here's the little charging brick. There's the little USB-C cable, which is nice. It is USB-C. The 3 attachments are in this baggie. The 4th attachment is the ball that sits on this side right here. Now, the reason I wanted to kind of give you guys I wanted to use it first to give you guys a review on it, in my opinion. For the price, not bad. Now, here are the cons, in my opinion. Okay, so it does give you RPM, speed, frequency. First speed is 1200 RPMs, or percussions per minute, I would assume. Because this one is not like the Theragun. You can, on the Theragun, you have the 5 speeds on the Theragun, and then you have the 5 percussive speeds, you know, how fast it's gonna bounce in and out, and how frequently it's gonna be hitting your skin when you massage your skin with it. The Theragun also has customizable speeds where you can set it at a specific speed. So you want it to be at 2500 RPMs, but you want it to be at 2800 percussions per minute. So you can combine the speed of the percussion force with how fast you want that force to be, for an example, on the Theragun. On this one, it's got just 5 speeds: 1200 RPMs, 1800 RPMs, 2200 RPMs, 2600 RPMs, and 3200 RPMs. This is the $79 one. They had one that was $49. It does not rotate. This guy rotates. If you push this button right here, the head rotates. So 0 degrees, 45 degrees, and 50 degrees. So it states lithium-ion battery capacity 11.1 volts at 2000 milliamps. It's a 22.2 watt-hour battery. No load speed 1200 to 3200 RPMs a minute. Stroke length is 6.5 to 8 millimeters. Very, very small. So it can go from really, really short, when it's probably you're putting a lot of pressure on your hand with it, or your body part with it, to 8 millimeters. Charging time's 180 minutes. Work time's 360 minutes. I'm gonna tell you right now, it does not put out 360 minutes, which is 6 hours. Because that's gonna depend on how much pressure you're using it with and what the speed is. Where is it at? You know, round head is for arm, waist, hip, thigh, calf, and other large muscle groups. The flat head is for neck, spine, and Achilles tendon. Which, on the box, the flat head says that it can be used on everything. The precision head is deep tissue such as joints, palms, and plantars. Dual head is for relaxing and shaping various muscle groups. And where is it at? It's on here somewhere. The average run time of the massager is 360 minutes, depending on speed and pressure levels. My opinion, I don't think it will ever reach 6 hours on any level, whether it's high or extremely low, because when you put pressure on it, it's creating friction in the device with the head right here, and it's also, friction causes batteries to drain. It's just the way it is. Now, one of the downsides is that the inside of this metal sleeve that the adapters slide into, like that, gets extremely hot. So, before I went to bed, I asked my wife if she could use this on my back, and, you know, I asked her to use the flathead for the first like 20 minutes, and then I asked her to switch to this ball for, you know, 15 or so minutes. When she got done, I asked her to hand it to me, and I was going to try it on her calves so she could see what it feels like. And I hit a tickle spot on my wife on the back of her knee. It tickles, and she closed her knee on the item and this ball, and it stopped the motor, and the motor got hot, and the battery indicator went from 3 bars to 1 bar instantaneously. then it wouldn't turn back on. It wouldn't, we waited 5 minutes, it finally would turn back on, but it was really weak. So, there was too much heat in this cylinder right here, too much friction, and it did not function under any pressure. Like this, I could put pressure on it right now, like I'm doing. This would have stalled it yesterday. So this gun does get very hot, and it thermal shuts down. And you can hear it doesn't take a lot of pressure. See? I shut it down. According to the information, this will stay consistent at 17 pounds of pressure. Well, I didn't put 17 pounds of pressure on it. When I just did it, it was about 20 pounds of pressure for me to stop it. And it stops really kind of deeply in the bore, far down. It's about 1.25 inches from the top. So when you stop it, when you try to turn it back on, if it's too hot, it won't work. This time it does. But you can easily stop it. Once you hold that position and it stops, the motor stops moving, if you hold it tightly for 15 seconds, it will stall and it will turn off. Will it turn back on? Yes. It will turn back on in this instance because of the fact that this tube is not hot from friction and constant use. But if you add up all in all, every time I had used it, turned it off, charged it, I got a total of about 4 hours out of it. And that was because I kept charging it. Now, we got about 40 minutes or so on it, constant use, and it worked on my back. But as soon as it got stalled from my wife moving her knee and stopping the motor, this collar was just too hot. The inside of this, I could tell you for a fact, it had to have been about 200, 250 or up degrees. Like, I could barely touch it and it was extremely hot. You could have probably baked an egg on it within a few seconds. It was hot. If you're charging, because the charger's right here, if you're charging it, you can use it while it's charging. But this interface right here, the outside of this interface gets hot. It's pretty comfortable to hold. The vibration isn't bad at all. These are different positions you can hold it in. But would I recommend it? Sure, if you want to spend $79 and you want something for occasional use. I'm going to end up probably picking up the Theragun, that $600 Theragun, and probably going to compare it to see if it's a crap ton better made than this one. Theragun, you get 6 attachments with it for the Pro model. This one you only get 4. But just be very cautious. If you do buy this, you can stall it. The Theragun Pro has a stall rate at 60 pounds of pressure. It will hold its speed and its percussion force at 60 pounds constantly. So if you put 60 pounds of pressure in somebody's arm or your shoulder or your back, you know, whatever you use it on, the Theragun, yeah, it's a huge price difference. The Elite is $399, the Pro is $599. The Elite will do 40 pounds constant pressure. So 40 pounds of constant pressure down. So if you're putting pressure on your arm, for an example, you could put 40 pounds of pressure constantly on the Theragun Elite, and it will hold the percussive force and the speed you set it to. The Elite, or not the Elite, but the Pro, will do 60 pounds of pressure. It will hold its percussive force and speed at 60 pounds continuous pressure. This, it's pretty close. It is accurate on the pressure. This will work and hold its percussive force and speed at 17 pounds. I agree with that, because I can put 17 pounds pretty easily, not hard at all. 17 pounds, it does hold. If you go over 17 pounds, somewhere in the range of 19 to 21 pounds of pressure, it will stall. So if you want to just lightly massage your shoulders or something, this will work. I am curious. Let me know, guys, if you would like to see the more expensive model, the Pro model, the $600 model. Would you like me to do a review on that one? Would you like me to compare them? All in all, if you're not going to be using this all the time, every day, multiple times a day, I think it might be good for you. It might be helpful. My back does feel better. My leg feels really well. I didn't realize how bad my legs hurt. I used them on my calves and my thighs, and I was extremely shocked of how well it did. I bet you, though, that the Theragun models at $600 and $400, I bet you they have in the shaft where the piston moves in and out to move the percussive item. I bet you there's some kind of cooling or something in those, because this was, for 45 minutes, it was at almost 300 degrees just on the inside tube where the item physically goes. And if you go too hot, these plastic items, these sleeves, will probably melt. They are quite thick, but I don't know what their melting temperature is. I have no idea. So be precautionate. You're not going to get 6 hours out of this. It's only a 2000 milliamp battery. It's a 12 volt battery. It's 11.1 volts. So it's probably somewhere in the range of 13 or so volts nominal. But it doesn't charge at that. It charges at 5 volts. So it's a 2000 milliamp battery. It's actually smaller than your average cell phone. Even cell phones, like the Galaxy Note 2, back in early 2000s, it had a bigger battery than 2000 milliamps. So it's not going to last for 6 hours. I do not think it will last under 6 hours on light pressure, like 1 or 2 pounds pressure, just resting the percussive tool on your arm. Just say rest it there. I do not think it's going to last 6 hours on low, which is the first speed it starts on. This speed right here. I do not think that it's going to last on this speed, barely touching your arm. See, like just barely touching. You can barely feel it at that speed. See, it just turned itself off. I don't think it's going to last at that speed, barely touching your arm. You can barely feel it by doing that. But the reason I don't think it's going to last that long is because the amount of battery drop I had by putting 2 or 3 pounds where you can feel it, it sucked batteries quickly. It took 2.5 bars out of the 4 bars, almost 3 bars for 40 minutes, and that's light to moderate on my back. And yes, my spine is hard, and my shoulder blades are hard, and there's a couple hard items, so that's going to drain the battery. Yes. But say you're using this on your thigh. you know, which is predominantly fat on top of muscle. Or maybe you have muscle and more muscle than fat. It doesn't really matter. It's going to drain the battery quickly because you're hitting something harder, like muscle over fat, or bone. If you're hitting bone, it's going to recoil back. You know, when it hits the hard item, the whole unit does move away. So when I hit my elbow, as an example, the whole handle moved because the percussive force of the item couldn't penetrate, because it wasn't your skin and it wasn't muscle, so it couldn't penetrate. So what it did is, when the stroke went forward and it hit, it physically moved the whole unit back. You know, it moved it in your hand. So it will, if you hit something hard like bone or shoulder blades or something like that, it will tweak in your hand. So that's a good feature, that it doesn't immediately stall when you hit bone or something like that. It is a pretty decent gun for $80 if you want to buy one of these, but you can't afford $600. I would recommend it. I would recommend this for light, moderate use. For something that you're just gonna, you know, work on your shoulders or your neck or your wife's back for 20-30 minutes or so, and then you're just gonna recharge it. I do not recommend this for, you know, going to the gym. You know, you're doing a 2-hour workout at the gym and then you spend an hour using this. It's not gonna last every muscle group, I can guarantee it. Like, here it shows him on the photo doing the back of his shoulders. I could tell you it's not gonna last as long as it's claiming, you know. And just from me using it, and it gets hot. The handle and where you hold it does not, but the collar where the tools go in gets extremely hot. In 40 minutes it was somewhere in the range of 300 to 350 degrees. You couldn't touch the outside. You couldn't touch the sleeve. I temperature gunned it. It was almost at 400 degrees. And that was about 40 or so minutes. So this does have a thermal overload. It is nice that it has a thermal overload. It is nice that the thermal overload works. But be cautioned, if you spend $80, you are not going to get $600 worth of quality. You're not going to get a crap ton of attachments. The attachments it comes with work well. I did charge this on the top off Milwaukee. It charged fine. I used the USB-C to USB-C to charge it. Worked fine. I used the adapter, which is a little wall brick, and the USB-C cable that it came with, these two items, to charge it last night. All in all, I'm impressed with it. For the price of it and what it is capable of doing, I'm pretty impressed. I would not say, you know, it's amazing, it's great. Will I take it back? Only if something happens with it, you know, only if it stalls and it never turns back on again or something like that. I will then return it. But we'll see. If it continues to work well, you know, I'll give you guys an update later down the road. I do appreciate you guys watching. I know this is not a normal item on the channel. This is an electronic item. That's why I'm bringing it to the channel. A lot of people use these items. I was just curious. I didn't want to spend $600 at the moment, but I'm like, you know what? I'll spend 80 bucks. You know, $80 isn't a bad price, especially most of these are above $190. Most of them are $150, $100 to $200, and $200 to $400 to $500, depending on the version you get. There's all kinds of models of these. The Theragun is the most used and most known version of this, and I just thought I'd show you guys a comparison between the two. I know I use my phone, but all in all, I think it's a nice unit. If you use it lightly or moderately, I think it will serve you well. If you need to use it more in a heavy use, I don't think this would be the one for you guys. If you need to use it 45 minutes, an hour every 6 or 7 hours, or you need to use it, say you need to use it for an hour and a half and you need to use it 3 times a day. I don't know if this is going to work for you. I'll give you guys updates down the road. Maybe it will surprise me. But I think that up to 6 hours of usage for this, I think that is no pressure. Because it states on the box right here, well, maximum stall force 17 pounds. No, it's stalled at somewhere around 20 pounds. In my opinion. I could be wrong. I know I'm pretty strong. I could have stalled it at 10 pounds for all I know. I don't know. I'm just giving you guys an estimate. It felt like I was putting about 20 pounds of pressure on my arm when it stalled. Or my hand when it stalled. But that is an upside to the more expensive ones. The Pro is, for the Theragun, is 60 pounds of constant pressure. And those stall at like 65 or 70 pounds is its stall rate. I think it was the information, I think it stated 80 pounds. You have to put 20 more pounds than its recommended maximum pressure. So I think it was 80 pounds was the stall rate on the Theragun Pro. The Theragun Elite had a 40 pound, so it had a 60 pound stall rate, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me, I could be wrong. I could have swore I read it somewhere yesterday about that. But I do recommend this for light, moderate use. Maybe somebody that just, wants a small massage at the end of the day. See how it works when I come home from work on cars. See how well it works, when I'm, doing yard work, stuff like that. If I do go to the gym, I'll take it with me and I'll give you guys an opinion on the next video. This is just my opinion of me using it at the moment. I do appreciate you guys watching. I know this is a 36-minute video, almost 37, so appreciate you guys watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon for future updates. Go check out my Amazon affiliate links, my Acme Tools affiliate links, my DJI Electronics affiliate links, as well as my Ohio Power Tools affiliate links. And at the top of the description below, I do have an Ulsa Tools link. It will get you 10% off your order at ulsatools.com, as well as it kicks me ability to get 10% off my next order at ulsatools.com. So if you find anything you guys need on Ulsa Tools, go check them out, save some money. I will do an update. By the time you see this video, more than likely I've been using this for 7-8 months, something like that. So, another downside to this guy is the fact that when this cylinder right here gets hot, the actual unit gets weak, even though it, may be fully charged. As an example, like that, it gets extremely weak. So, as an example, it says you're supposed to be able to put a maximum stall force of 17 pounds. That was about 5 pounds. When the motor, when you hold it there and then all of a sudden the motor will move back, you'll hear it click. That's when it completely stalls. And I've noticed another downside to this unit is that once it's in that position where the motor relaxes all the way back, I turned it off, turn it back on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's where it relaxed. So it stalled. If you hold it in the stall position for 5 or 6 more seconds, the motor will slide all the way back. Turn it off. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. See, I didn't have to turn it off that time. Install it, let it go back, like that. See, that didn't work that time. It actually gets stuck. And anything above speed 1, this gets hot extremely quick, is a downside. When this gets hot, this plunger gets weak. Or the plunger here with the tool's attached to. And you can fill it if you take the attachment out, put your fingers in here, you could feel it's extremely hot. It's not hot now because I let it sit for a few minutes, but I wanted to show you guys. See, all I did was put the tool back in and it doesn't want to work. Turn it off. And this button also gets stuck sometimes. Gets stuck on the up position. Turn back on. Yep. Smack it and it turns back on. Let it relax. Works. So it does have its ups and downs. I use it predominantly in this position. I don't usually rotate it, but you can. It's 1, 2. I normally rotate it and leave it down, and I hold it like this. So that way you could do, like that. It also works for, the hips and back area like this. But it is very weak. It's a very, very weak unit. So for the $79, would I recommend it? Yeah, I'd recommend it, but in the same sense, I would say no, pass. I didn't lose anything but $80 on it. I've been using it frequently. The main downside is if you don't use it on 1, this gets hot extremely fast. If you use it on 1, you could use it for about 1 or 2 hours. I think the longest I've used it on 1 is about 1 hour and 40 minutes, give or take. Anything higher than 1, though, this heats up extremely fast, and then this plunger becomes weak. So here's an example. The stall force, it gets easier and easier to stall it. That's the downside. When this gets extremely hot, this stalls quicker. And it doesn't take much force at this moment to stall it. See what I mean? So I'm putting about 4 pounds into it to stall it. So this is the example I wanted to show you. This collar is extremely hot at the moment, so it doesn't take much to stall it. It's about 4 pounds right there. I'm not doing it very hard. So it is a downside. It does not stall easy on high though. I gotta put about 20 pounds into it. But on high, this will heat up extremely fast. So just something you guys gotta be mindful of. If you use this on high, this is gonna get upwards of 300-400 degrees within about 15-20 minutes, And then this plunger will be a lot easier to stall the motor because the metal sleeve and everything is warm. This metal sleeve right here will be extremely hot. I don't know if there's any grease on the inside of this to help the sleeve. It seems like it just gets hot out of nowhere. This kind of feels like fiberglass, maybe. The plastic sleeve on the inside probably is fiberglass. But all in all, it seems like a good unit. It does work. But be mindful that if you spend $80 on this is not going to be something you're going to use on high for 4 or 5 hours or more. It gets hot extremely quick, which takes away from its effectiveness, because when this sleeve, the cylinder, it slides in the bore in and out. When it gets extremely hot, it makes these extremely hot. Like for an example, you can see the rubber is already warped. This little rubber cap, it's already warped. You can see that. I can peel it with my finger. It's pretty warped. So this is not something that's going to last you 5-10 years. If you use it on a daily basis like I've been using it. See, this one's already warped, and I use this one the most. So it may last a year, it may not, I don't know. But just wanted to give you guys another quick update. I'll just put this in the previous video. But that's it. It does have ups, it does have downs. It is easy to recharge. It is nice that it is USB-C, that's a plus. But it does get hot, especially on any speed above 1. It gets hot quite quick on any speed above 1. On 1, you can probably do 4 or 5 hours, maybe, it would be a guess. Because low is very, very low. It's 1200 RPMs, or strokes per minute, in my opinion. SPM. The max I've gotten out of it before this got too hot. This does get hot on speed 1. It just doesn't happen in 5-10 minutes. It happens in a couple hours. I measured this with the temp gun. It was a 394 degrees using it on speed 1 for 2 hours and like 40 something minutes or so. It was almost 400 degrees. So just keep that in mind. Be cautionate if you do buy this for 79 bucks at Walmart. Just know that it gets hot. Don't burn yourself. Use it cautionately. That's it, guys. Appreciate you guys' time. Thank you guys so much for watching. And hopefully, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace!